Welcome to Cinema Bites, your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes. The little car had entered the city, but its driver was surprised to find that a quarantine had been imposed on it and all its residents. After disinfection, he asked one of the people spraying the car about what was happening. He was told that there was nothing to worry about and that all that had happened was a minor gas leak at one of the biological facilities, and they had already controlled the situation. These were just simple precautionary measures that needed to be taken. He saw a dead deer on the ground, didn't think much of it, hoped the car was fine, and got back on the road. But then we see the crushed deer under the car wheels come back to life and stand on its legs in a terrifying scene. We then move to one of the luxurious offices in the city and meet Psycho, who was on the phone asking about selling shares in a particular company after the stock price had skyrocketed. We learn that his work is related to the stock market. After ending the call, he sees news online about the sudden death of fish in the sea. His reading is interrupted by his assistant, who informs Psycho that he is selling the company's shares as instructed earlier. Psycho heads to the garage to go home while talking to his ex-wife on the phone. It's their daughter's birthday the next day, and she asks him to send their daughter to spend the day with her in the nearby city of Busan. However, Psycho refuses to let the girl make the trip alone, saying he has work to do and will take their daughter himself after finishing work in a week. He then ends the call. When he gets home, his mother greets him at the apartment door, telling him how sad his daughter has become because she will spend her birthday alone. He goes to his daughter's room, where she is lying under the covers talking to her mother. She tells her mother that she can travel alone and take the train, but when she realizes her father is listening, she quickly ends the call and gets up to talk to him. The girl's name is Suan. Her father tells her he has some work to do, and because he worries about her, he can't let her make the trip alone. He gives her an early birthday gift, but when she opens it, Suan discovers it is the same gift her father gave her last year for her birthday. He apologizes for forgetting and asks her what she really wants so he can get it for her. Suan replies that she wants to visit her mother. Her father doesn't respond and leaves her room, going to his own. His mother enters his room and starts talking to him about how much Suan has changed, becoming constantly sad, quiet, and no longer playing or laughing like she used to since her parents' separation. She shows him a video of a school event where Suan was supposed to sing, but only her grandmother attended. Psycho sees the sadness on his daughter's face and decides at that moment to take Suan to her mother. On the way, he talks to his daughter in the car but suddenly stops when fire trucks, ambulances, and police cars pass in front of him, heading toward a massive fire in the city. The chaos had already reached their area, but Psycho continues his journey to the train station. They board a train to Busan. In one of the train cars, there is a sports team traveling to the same city for an important match, 2 elderly women and train attendants. When the driver's assistant steps onto the platform to ensure everyone has boarded, a girl who seems to be running from something quickly gets on the train, and the door closes as the train departs. Suan notices from the window that something attacked the driver's assistant on the platform and killed him. The girl who boarded the train at the last moment had a bite mark on her leg and was trying to bandage it to stop the bleeding so no one would notice. Meanwhile, one of the passengers notices a man acting strangely as he enters the bathroom in their car and stays inside for a long time. The passenger informs one of the staff members, who goes to check on the man. Suan, curious by nature, follows them to see what's happening without her father noticing she left his side. The staff member manages to open the bathroom door to find a homeless man inside, muttering about how everyone is dead and that no one will survive. The staff member, not understanding his words, tries to calm him down and convince him to come out. At the same time, the girl with the bite mark collapses in the corridor between 2 train cars and dies. Her body starts convulsing violently, and one of the train attendants sees her and immediately calls for medical assistance over the intercom. But to her shock, the girl stands up behind her, having turned into a zombie, and attacks her. The attendant tries to escape but is killed, and within minutes, the 2 girls who turned into zombies begin attacking all the passengers in the car. Those bitten also turn into zombies and start attacking others. Suan wants to use the bathroom but finds a man standing outside the door because his pregnant wife is inside. He directs Suan to another bathroom in a different car. She goes there, enters, and locks the door. Meanwhile, her father wakes up to the sound of his phone ringing and sees on the train's screens the chaos spreading in the city, with zombies attacking and killing people, then turning them into zombies. He quickly looks for his daughter, who is no longer by his side. When he reaches the car where Suan is, he sees zombies running toward them and shouts her name, not knowing where she is. He hears her voice from behind and rushes to her, taking her quickly to the next car to escape the horde of zombies coming their way. However, he is unable to close the door behind him, so he keeps running. At that moment, the man waiting for his pregnant wife senses danger and knocks on the bathroom door for her to come out quickly. They escape to the next car and manage to close the door before the zombies reach them. Psycho realizes that the zombies attack as soon as they see people, so they use newspapers to cover the glass of the door, preventing the creatures from seeing them. The plan works, and this is the zombie army, after no longer seeing any of them through the glass. The train driver opened the microphones in the carriage and told them that they wouldn't stop at the next station but would disembark at the one after because the army had surrounded it. He asked everyone in the train to remain calm. One of the passengers, who was unaware of what was happening, asked him, so he explained that what was happening on the train was also happening in all the cities. He added that the decision not to stop was communicated to him by his superiors and advised them to take care of themselves until they reached their destination. All the passengers on the train tried to access the internet and follow social media to understand what was happening. They learned that a virus had spread among humans, causing them to turn into zombies. Anyone infected by one of them would also turn into a zombie. Government officials were issuing statements, trying to reassure the population, advising them not to believe rumors and fabricated news, and promising that everything would soon be under control. Sako, after ensuring his daughter's safety, tried to call his mother to check on her. She told him to take care of himself and his daughter. Then he heard strange noises on the phone and realized he had lost his mother. But he tried to remain composed in front of his daughter and asked her to stay in the same place, promising to return in a few minutes. Sako went to the next carriage to make a call, and it seemed he contacted one of his friends in the army, asking if the city where the train would stop would be safe or not. He explained that he had his daughter with him, and that the biggest favor his friend could do was guide him on the safest route. The person he was speaking to told him that as soon as the train arrived in the city, the army would quarantine all passengers. He advised him not to go to the main city upon arrival, but to head to the eastern part of the city, and he would inform his men about him. Sako thanked him for this favor. He noticed that the homeless man was sitting between the seats and had overheard the entire conversation. The train reached the station where the driver had told them they wouldn't stop. The train passengers saw people on the platform pleading with them to take them along and save them from this hell. But the train didn't stop, and the passengers watched as the people on the platform were attacked by zombies. The train continued on its way. A man and his pregnant wife were standing next to Sako. He asked her about her father's job, and she happily answered, especially after feeling the baby move inside her belly. The train then arrived at the station where the driver had told them they would stop, but everyone hesitated to disembark until one person took the initiative and got off. Then everyone else followed suit. They began walking through the empty station, heading toward the main square. But Sako and his daughter bypassed the barriers to go where his friend had advised. He noticed that the homeless man was following him after overhearing his conversation. The man said he wanted to live and didn't want to die. When Swan understood the situation, she tried to go back to inform the others, but her father stopped her. From a distance, a soldier appeared, and the homeless man ran toward him, waving. Sako asked his daughter not to move from her spot and ran after the homeless man. Suddenly, a zombie appeared behind the soldier and attacked him. The homeless man fell to the ground in terror, and an army of zombies emerged behind him and began attacking. On their way to the main square, the man and his pregnant wife felt something was off, but as they approached the square, they saw all the soldiers who were supposed to be waiting for them. However, they had also turned into zombies. When the zombies saw them, they began running toward them. The man grabbed his wife and carried her to another staircase, and they hurriedly tried to escape. When Sako saw the zombies attacking, he ran back to his daughter, calling out to her loudly as the zombies had reached her. Suddenly, the man and his pregnant wife appeared and saved Suan, taking her and running away. Sako couldn't escape and was attacked by a zombie trying to bite him. But the homeless man quickly pulled the zombie back and covered its face with a jacket before running toward the door where the man, his pregnant wife, and a group of young baseball team members were. The zombies left Sako after losing sight of him. He managed to escape to the rest of the group, and together with the homeless man and the baseball players, they tried to close the door while the rest of the group retreated to the train. The zombies broke the glass of the corridor above the platform and began falling onto the passengers, causing some to flee in one direction and others in another. Among them were two elderly sisters who got separated, each going in a different direction just as the zombies were about to reach them. When everyone else reached the train carriages, one of them told the attendant to inform the driver that everyone was on board and that they needed to move. But the cheerleader girl refused, saying her teammate hadn't arrived yet. The man pushed her and threatened the attendant, insisting they had to move or else their lives would also be in danger. The attendant complied. Sako, the baseball players, and the homeless man couldn't close the door, and the zombies broke the glass, starting to attack them. They quickly fled to the train they saw beginning to move as soon as it reached the platform. The zombies attacked two of the baseball team members, leaving only three on the platform. They pulled Sako as he ran, and he quickly boarded the train. Only the pregnant woman's husband remained, running along the platform. Sako extended his hand to him, but the man took a police shield lying on the ground to defend himself and eventually managed to enter the carriage with them. The passengers were now divided among 3 carriages. The majority were in carriage number 15, where they covered the glass with fire extinguishers and sealed the door with their clothes. Meanwhile, Swan, the pregnant woman, one of the elderly sisters, and the homeless man were in another carriage. Sako, the pregnant woman's husband, and a baseball player were in a 3rd carriage. Swan and the pregnant woman discovered they were trapped between 2 carriages filled with zombies. The pregnant woman spotted an open bathroom door in a nearby carriage. They all entered it, but the zombies saw them at the last moment and tried to attack. However, they quickly shut the door. Sako tried to call his daughter to check on her, but there was no signal. He noticed the man speaking to his pregnant wife and learned that his daughter was with them, along with the baseball player. The baseball player contacted his cheerleader friend, reassured her, and informed her that the rest of their teammates had died. The pregnant woman's husband told Sako and the baseball player that his wife and Swan were trapped in the bathroom of one of the train carriages, and they needed to rescue them. They began preparing for the difficult journey through the train carriages. The group entered the first carriage filled with zombies and began fighting them. The man stood at the front, Sako at the back, and the baseball player in the middle. The group noticed that when the train entered a tunnel and the carriages became dark, the zombies calmed down. In its movement, its speed decreases, and he decided to use that against them. He planned for them to get into each car when the train entered a tunnel and be pulled out from among them. He used the phone to keep the zombies away from his path and moved without fighting them until they reached the group that was trapped in the bathroom. The man reassured his pregnant wife, and Sako reassured his daughter. But unfortunately, the moment that united them didn't last, because the train exited the tunnel and the small group moved into the other bathroom. Sako used his mobile to calculate the distance and time needed for the train to enter the next tunnel. He told his companion that they should move at that time. The baseball player sent a message to the cheerleader to inform her of the plan. Out of excitement, the girl told the remaining passengers that there were still survivors from their train. But then, the selfish man among them started shouting at her, saying they couldn't let them join their car because one of them might be infected. He convinced the rest of the remaining passengers. The train entered the tunnel and everyone left the bathrooms, moving quietly in the darkness so the zombies wouldn't notice them. Everyone exited the train, but the homeless man fell between the seats. Sako went back to help him, and they both hid. Sako agreed with the homeless man to move after counting to 3, but the homeless man accidentally stepped on a soda can, alerting the zombies who came toward them. They were forced to run quickly and managed to get through a door at the last moment. But the pregnant woman couldn't close it behind them because one of the zombies had its head stuck in the door. The baseball player went to the door of car number 15, where the remaining passengers were, but they didn't open it, so he started breaking the glass. On the other side of the car, a zombie managed to bite the man holding the door. Within minutes, he turned into a zombie too. Sako rushed to help him, but the man told him what had happened and asked him to escape with the others and take care of his wife. Sako quickly ran away with the rest of the group. When the wife tried to stay with her husband, he shouted at her, telling her to escape with the others. He started holding back the zombies to stop them from chasing the rest of the group, sacrificing himself to protect his wife and the others. Sako reached the door of car number 15 and they managed to break the glass and get inside, but the passengers still tried to stop them from joining them. This time, they failed. As soon as Sako entered the car, he punched the selfish man in the face, blaming him for the death of the unborn child's father. The selfish man still refused to let the group stay with them, claiming that someone among them must be infected. He forced Sako, his daughter, the pregnant woman, the homeless man, and the baseball player and his girlfriend to leave. The girlfriend refused to stay with the selfish group. At that moment, the old woman saw her sister among the zombies through the glass door. Without anyone noticing, she opened the door, letting the zombies into the train car, killing everyone inside. The group that had just left managed to escape. The train reached a station near Busan and stopped. The train conductor announced over the microphone that he would try to find another train car quickly. He got off to look for one to take them to Busan. After hearing this, Sako received a call from his friend in the army, who told him that Busan now had the best defense and that if they reached there, they would be safe from what was happening. Sako informed his group that they needed to get off now and try to reach Busan at any cost. At the same time, the selfish man and the train attendant were in the bathroom of car number 15, having escaped the massacre that occurred there. They heard the conductor's announcement. The selfish man told the attendant that they needed to get off to board the second train the conductor was preparing. When the attendant agreed, the selfish man asked him to go out first. When he did, the selfish man pushed him toward the zombies and quickly escaped from the car. A burning train was speeding down the tracks, colliding with Sako's train and overturning it. The group survived the crash, and when they regained consciousness, they discovered that the zombies were right above them. Sako quickly moved to find an exit. When he found one, the zombies broke the glass and began attacking them. The homeless man stood his ground to hold them off, allowing the pregnant woman and Sako to escape. The homeless man died in the process. The cheerleader also survived the train but was alone. Suddenly, she found the baseball player pulling her into one of the train cars, but they encountered the selfish man who, upon seeing them, pushed the cheerleader toward the zombies to distract them and escape. She was bitten, and when the baseball player tried to pull her back, she had already turned into a zombie and bit him. Both of them died. Only the selfish man, Sako, his daughter, and the pregnant woman remained. Sako spotted the train heading to Busan. He ran with his group to catch it. When they reached it and ensured everyone was aboard, a group of zombies clung to the train, slowing it down. Fearing that the zombies might stop the train, Sako began kicking them off one by one. When he reached the driver's cabin, he found the selfish man, who had clearly been bitten and turned into a zombie. The selfish man attacked him, so Sako tied himself to the train with a chain, held the zombie to prevent it from biting anyone, and threw it off the train. But he realized he had also been bitten. Quickly, he took the pregnant woman and his daughter to the driver's cabin, showed them where the train's brakes were, and said goodbye to his daughter. He locked them inside and jumped off the train at the last moment. The train reached a dead end near Busan, so the pregnant woman and the daughter got off and began walking through a dark tunnel. The military guarding the city spotted them, but they couldn't tell if they were survivors or zombies. A sniper was ordered to shoot them, but suddenly the daughter started singing a song she had performed at her school concert. The soldiers realized they were survivors and rushed to rescue them. And that's the end of today's movie. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. And if it's your first time visiting the channel, don't forget to subscribe by clicking the red button below and give the video a like. See you soon.